Morning. It is just after 7:30 in wonderful old England. That means, of course, that if I don't have the light in my car on for the camera, it's pitch black. Yes, we love it, don't we? Yeah, yay. Thursday, but due to it being New Year's week, our days are all still screwed up, aren't they? So, today, we've got the Session 5 Disneyworld of Darkness recap. The Monday game, as it normally is, was played on Wednesday night, and yeah, things actually went probably better than I expected for the group. They made a couple of very good rolls when they needed them, and I made some rolls that worked out luckily in their favor as well. They survived the initial encounter with the werewolves without attacking them or managing to be attacked by them, which I found fairly impressive, actually, being the group of players that we have. Big Al showed up, the werebear. Taylor's character Dwight was asked whether or not these were in fact his people. He made some rolls to understand actually what he was being asked, and he realized that he was basically being asked if he was claiming this kingdom as his kingdom, if he was announcing himself as a noble here, then it means that he has a claim to the throne. Now, that doesn't mean the throne's his. It means he has a claim to it. There may be others. We don't know yet. That will have to come out in play. But it also means that because he is the only visible noble at the moment, anything that any changeling does within this kingdom, he's responsible for. Which, considering all of the problems going on right now, is a bit of an issue. So, at that point, the werewolves wanted to tear them apart. Al stopped them. Oh, excuse me. When it's dark out, the sun hasn't come up yet, it's hard to get moving. So Al stopped the werewolves from attacking. And said that they needed to stand trial. He took them back to his place. Happens to be the Country Bear Jamboree in Frontierland. Where else is a werebear going to hang out? I mean, come on. Where he gathers together representatives of most of the factions. A mage arrives. A hunter arrives by video link. A vampire, whom they've met, the eldest of the seven sisters, arrives also by video link because it's daytime and vampires. A representative of the wraiths arrives, and they basically find out that something's going on with the technocracy in Epcot, and something's going on in Hollywood, and it sounds like the technocracy and the demons are not coming. They begin with some questioning. They ask about some certain events. The group defends themselves fairly well. They admitted to a few things which didn't help them much, but then they also argued that a few things were outside of their control. There were a few things that were kind of noted down as, okay, yeah, we did it, but it was an accident. But then there were also a few things where they're kind of nailed to it. And then there were a couple things that they actually were guilty of that they bluffed their way out of, for the most part. And then in the middle of all of this going on, a wave crashes through the room, and the mists returned. This means that suddenly they were no longer their changeling selves to everyone's view. They were their human selves again. It means that all of the dreaming elements that were going on started to return to normal. It means that most normal people started to forget what had happened. In fact, the hunter that was there in judgment forgot everything about the last 3 days. Now, they explained it to him again, but he now has no memory of any of it, just what they've told him. And from there, they basically called the trial to a recess while they figure out what the hell is going on. Again, excuse me. They call the trial to recess while they figure out what the hell is going on. Cleanup works start in the parks, but obviously it's going to take a bit of time for things to get back to normal. News reports start coming in. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of bizarreness because some video evidence of the time survived, but a lot of it is damaged or blurry or broken in some way so that it's unclear. Most people's memories of the time are gone, but there's still a lot of people dead, and things like London is gone, which are noticeable things. You know, when the remaining British government wakes up in a bunker, not remembering the last 3 days, then tries to figure out what's going on and sees London is not there, there's a lot of tension going on. Because all of a sudden now they don't know who attacked them. There are also the rare few people who do remember, who of course now everyone thinks is crazy. Yeah, so it's a lot going on. The group basically made an oath not to leave the resort property until this was resolved. Now, just to clarify there, the resort property is huge. I mean, it contains all of the parks, all of the resorts, the Disney Springs shopping area. It's a massive, massive area. It's like being told not to leave New York. It's not quite that big. It's like twice the size of Manhattan. So, I mean, they do have quite a big area there that they're not supposed to be leaving. And they head back to their rooms to rest. In the course of all of this, they also discover that the floating castle that had appeared over Epcot during all of this is still there. Somebody's not having a good morning. The floating castle is still there, which is problematic. It's very problematic. And they also find that Doc's character has an invitation to Salonia. Also, during the course of all of this, they found that in the near dreaming, when they visit the castle, they can now also see Salonia there in the dreaming. So it has transported itself here, both within and without the dream, which should be cause for either celebration or alarm, depending on how you feel about the old cities. And that's kind of where we left off. The group went back and had another chat with Al after the fact, after the trial had been deferred. And their next plan is to head to Salonia. So we'll see how that goes next week. Until then, tomorrow I'll be back, probably going to do a Friday Disney video, start off that series with an introduction, and then on Monday I'll be back with an intro to the Monday game. So stay tuned. As always, have a great day, have a great week. If you haven't subscribed yet, click that subscribe button, and let me know if you're enjoying the content. If you're not enjoying it, well, then you'll unsubscribe, and I'll see that anyway. Later on.